More pantyhose machines in the men's room. God damn it. Is that going to be the intro to the show? It's the only time that orange ever looks good on a human being.
I can't believe they got vending machines in Hooters for tights.
Yes, they did, but I think it's only in the ladies' room, which, you know what, we need to start, there needs to be like a protest, right?
Like, we've all seen the tights on the girls and the waitresses, right?
Welcome to Tights Frame of Mind. This is the, what are we calling this episode? We're calling it the not Hooters episode, or the, Hooted episode? I don't know.
It was supposed to be the Hooters episode, and we did our best, everyone.
It was supposed to be. We can't let down the audience. We lie to them, and if we lie to them, there won't be trust, and we need to have that as a narrative. We're building a narrative. And I'm like, but it's a podcast. He's like, oh yeah. Gonna do some crazy shout outs to our patrons, because there was a hurricane in Florida, which is why there's been a gap in the production. But I'd like to shout out, and this is in the order of which they signed up. I want to thank S'more, Jason, Sam, Glenn, Steve, Oscar, James, Guy, and Liwan. Oh, I butchered that one. Our friend from Wales, and London, you know who you are, and Addie, and I think that's it. Those are the people who signed up to our Patreon, and we thank you, and we love you, and we hope to never disappoint you.
Mr. King and I are dressed for the occasion, but sadly, it's really difficult finding Hooters waitresses, and we both tried. In both countries.
I can tell you this much. I have talked to much more famous people than the particular Hooters waitress that I was looking to talk to. I mean, and when I say famous people, I mean like Tori Amos, Kathy Griffin, Lewis Black, Tom Fenton, CBS Foreign News correspondent. Hello. Okay, so I'm bragging, but I'm not bragging because I'm putting it into context. This particular Hooters waitress had a Guardian article written about her, and asked her onto the show, was very, very, very polite, said we weren't going to be exploitative, all that good stuff. Nothing, and then we hear back from her team, who says that we need to send over all the links and all the everything and yada yada. And so I send over everything, and then they say, we're going to look it over, and then the team will get back to you, and nothing. And you want to know what I think, McSheer? I think there is no team. I think she's the team. I think she's making stuff up. But I'm not talking smack about her, I'm talking smack about her. I mean, come on. The team couldn't even get back to me to say not interested. So I'm not bitter, though. I'm a little bitter.
I did try here in the UK where there is only one Hooters restaurant.
Oh, that's right.
And then I spoke to a friend of a friend who knows a Hooters waitress, and I thought, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. Can't wait to tell the king I found someone we can get on board for this. And what I sent you the...
I forgot that you did. You sent that to me. Oh, it was late. I was. But why don't you tell everybody what happened?
Basically, they said, she says no. She's now married, has 2 kids, and never wants to talk about Hooters ever again. And I went, okay. Thank God I didn't just blow it. I was. If they'd said yes, I'd have had to come clean about myself to a friend who isn't that close. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of a happy accident. I'm not sure how comfortable I would have been going. So it's for a podcast called Tights Frame of Mind. I'm in the tights. So is the pantyhose king. I was gearing myself up to having to say all that, and in a weird way, I'm a bit relieved I didn't have to go down that route. Not yet. Well, I just thought it'd be really fun to get the shock surprise of some Hooters waitress, and I wanted to hear her. This sort of fantasized version of it in my head, laughing, shocked, and I wanted to awaken her to the fact that it was the tights that were the main thing I'd imagined. Can you imagine if she
was? Can we do a little improv? Can I be like, I'll be the show. You're going to be the fantasy Hooter waitress, and how she's going to react after seeing. So we're going to imagine she doesn't see my outfit, and now you're going to react as the fantasy Hooter waitress, and I'm going to ask you questions, okay?
Okay, cool. So where am I from? Tell me where I'm from.
You're from the Deep South? I don't know.
All right, so I got to find myself a voice like that.
That works.
Does that work for you, sir?
Well, yeah, maybe.
Pardon me, all y'all folk from the...
Good Lord.
From the United States of America, but I'm from...
She's from the Deep South.
Oh, as in you want me to talk like that?
No, she sounded like she might have has a little bit of a shallow gene pool going on.
Where's Shallow Gene Pool? Whereabouts is that?
That's the name of the town she grew up in.
But where is it? Is that not in...
We don't know the state. It was Kentucky or Alabama, Kentucky. We don't know.
I'm just gonna come on board with this sort of voice. You're gonna have to pardon the accent till I get into it.
Yeah, okay. So, hello.
Oh my God, are you wearing a Hooters outfit?
Yeah, well, yes, I am. What an eye.
Holy shit! You're wearing a Hooters outfit? Oh my God!
As you can hear, this improvised version of us having a chat with a imaginary, apparently Hooters waitress, got a little out of hand, and you can hear the rest of it on our Patreon page. But
That is, if you wish to hear a little bit more from me and the Pantyhose King. But if not, do not worry and just buckle up and hear the rest of our episode.
I am now feeling like you're okay. You're American. Am I allowed to be this silly and generic with an accent?
I mean, I'm having a lot of fun because you're just taking the insults and being like, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm basically like, so tell me about when you were, how long you've known you were inbred. And you're like, well, I was having fun, but now you broke the improv. You broke it.
So basically, I look the part and don't sound the part at the minute. Well, I almost look the part, right?
I think maybe people might be a little surprised if you walked up at the table and were like, hello.
I think it'd be massively entertaining for most.
I would love it. I personally would say, I'll have what she's having.
You know what? We will get to the point where we can get a Hooters waitress on if that is what is needed. But I think we've both learned that you and I sat here being the Hooters waitresses is going to be enough for today.
I mean, I think that would have been probably the gist of it. I mean, maybe she might have been a little bit smarter, but not by far, I don't think.
I didn't even mean to make her not smart. I was just trying to go for the angle of her being completely shocked by two guys sat on the end of his Zoom video call wearing tights.
I'm sorry. That's close-minded of me, assuming that anybody who talks like this would not be the smartest. But you know what? I can say that because I am an American and I was born in the South.
I hope that was close enough for you guys listening. I think if there's anything for us to say about it to those of you that do have had similar curiosities about those kind of waitresses, is if you're into it, you should definitely try it, because I'm loving it a lot more than I thought I would.
You really? You've never tried the outfit before?
Well, a bit like a lot of the other hosers, I'm into really sheer tights or opaque, shiny black tights. I'm not into like thick,
not anymore,
tan. Like, it makes people's thighs look super. Maybe we should tell everyone about what we're wearing, right? Have we done that yet?
We're wearing the traditional Hooters outfit of yore. So that would be the way I'd describe it. I'm wearing black, you're wearing white, interestingly enough.
Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Did you go as far as these?
I am wearing actually a pair of sort of socks like that, but they're in honor of a friend that passed away. Actually, you can't see them if I move around because my stupid green screen. These are the socks that I'm wearing. I'm just wearing them in honor of him. So those were, I figured I could do the bunchy socks or I could just do those. I went a little against I would have been fired for the outfit that I wore at Hooters today if I was a waiter there, or waitress, or I guess they don't have waitresses or waiters.
Well, I think waiter for you, because you're a guy that wears pantyhose, not a guy who wants to wear pantyhose and a whole load of other female things like wigs and makeup and have a girl's name and behave like a woman or be a sissy or a crossdresser or you know what I'm saying.
No, but I don't think that they hire waiters at Hooters, which seems kind of like sex discrimination. But
yeah, we can't dig into that conversation, unfortunately, for the reasons we spoke about earlier, but...
Why? Because we can't dig into it because... Oh, that's right, because the waitresses didn't want to talk about stuff.
So you've got socks on. I'm modelling... I tried to get the classic white woolly socks. Yeah, we've both got tights on, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would be a bad outfit for Hooters if you got everything but the tights.
I've got a really thick pair on to hide my leg hair tonight.
I've layered because they don't get the shine that the PV pantyhose get. At the same time, I don't like, but the PV pantyhose, I think everybody knows this, they feel like crap. I mean, they just like, they're like itchy and scratchy and just not pleasant to wear. I mean, they look great, but I wasn't going to spend money to feel like I had crabs all over my legs for the entire episode.
So these tights of what you just said, what I'm wearing, can you see?
Yeah.
Are they?
They look like the dance skin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very nice. Because the PV pantyhose are really uncomfortable.
Didn't you learn from some research or something when you were trying to find the waitress that the pantyhose, the tights that the waitresses at Hooters wear don't have feet, which immediately turn us off?
They're footless, which is so ick. Like, so Hooters was a bust, I think is what the gist of that is. Maybe we'll attempt it again in the future. Excuse the motorcyclist. Teener peener syndrome, if you ask me. I mean, not that anybody who drives motorcycles that without any mufflers on that, cause air pollution. I'm saying they all have tiny dicks. I'm just saying...
We call it small man syndrome here. It's a lot more polite.
Small man syndrome.
No, I've misquoted a whole nation of my fellow countrymen and women. They don't say that. They say small man syndrome is when a small man gets angry very easily about nothing, and they go, "Oh, it's because he's so used to being small." What you said was about dicks. Say it.
Tina Wiener.
Tina Wiener. We say he's got a tiny dick. That's all we say. Yeah.
It's so unnecessarily long. Because he's suffering from micro penis, as it wills. Should we talk about the upcoming things that are brewing for Patreon? We have maybe a production we could hint at.
Yeah.
Is that something we can hint at?
I think we can.
I think that's something we can.
For those that haven't heard or have forgotten, we hinted at it, didn't we, in episode 3 or something?
Did we?
I think, yeah, because
maybe
when we stumbled upon an idea a few episodes back, and the long and short of it is we are producing an audio drama, which is a parody of the famous Scottish play, The Tragedy of Macbeth, which we are calling the pantyhose play, The Tragedy of
McSheer.
There will be a professionally produced audio drama. We're already at page 50 of screenplay writing to be converted into audio drama.
Really? Wow.
I've only finished Act 1 of the play. It's set in...
No spoilers, no spoilers.
I'm going to beep that out.
We're doing the spoof homage / Dirty Bird version of Macbeth, but it's
The Tragedy of
McSheer.
I couldn't have put it better myself, so thank you for saving that, because I was about to blow all of the surprises. So
I know you. I have to feeling you winding up. You're like, and here's the carrot, and I'm like, oh no. Okay, so what's going to be really cool about it, though, is that it will be available, of course, to our patrons. So that's another reason for you guys to sign up to our Patreon account, because you get to see bonus footage, extended episodes. McSheer and I prancing around like fools. I mean, whatever floats your boat. But also, the play will be available there. And I don't want to get everybody too excited, but there's going to be some IMDb actors that are going to be in it. Actual IMDb actors who you would recognize from the telly, like as they say in the UK.
Yeah,
right?
That is what we say in the UK. I'm really flattered that you're... that people are into that. That's really cool.
Look, I'm an American. I love fame.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
I
mean, famous people. It's not the same over in the UK, is it? You guys are not like as famous.
Well, we all secretly wish
except for maybe
it
the
was
royals.
part of our lives, but on the outside, we walk around like Eeyore, being like, yeah, not little old me, have not, want not. We skirted over our costumes. We've also got orange shorts on.
Well, for those who are just listening, if you're listening to this podcast and you don't know what a Hooters outfit looks like, then write us and tell us how that happened, because it would be impossible for somebody who's listening to a Pantyhose podcast to not know the Hooters outfit. That's sort of like...
You make a great point. Yeah. I think it's because I was trying to get to the point, though. You're right, so I'm just going to jump to it. It probably gets boring. But I'm wearing a male Hooters vest.
What's the difference?
The shape, the cut, and you can, when you're ordering them...
Is it?
You choose a man or a woman's Hooters vest.
Oh, well, I'm wearing a male one, too, because, I mean, you don't want to have, like, the area where the breasts are, because then it's
ironically,
right?
I can make this more feminine, as you can see my little dinky bow here.
Are you sure that's the male one? Because it seems like it's kind of drapey in the front,
because
right?
that's what I mean. I've doctored it so that I can make it more femme. The female ones would have been too tight and shapely. So have a look, everyone. Check out the shots, and you can see if you agree. These shorts are like ridiculous, but I'm starting to like them. I prefer skirts though.
Oh, I love my Hooter shirts. I wear them around.
My girlfriend saw me like this,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, we need to delve a little bit into that, because you told me a story off air, and I want to sort of get a little bit of a revelation that you had over the break when you were away.
Yeah, so it was just before I went away to work abroad for a couple of weeks, and unfortunately you were dealing with hurricanes and things. But yeah, before I went, we had a night where we were listening to, I think, one of our episodes, or it might have been a Strict Anonymous episode. Yeah, and we just got talking about it, and we had a few drinks, and for some reason it was one of the best times. It wasn't like perfect, but it came from her, which was like the first time ever I've had someone sort of go, "Come on, I want to see you dressed," and I was like, "Oh my god, she's taking the lead." And it was I had a really erotic night, and I only meant to tell you because you're always fucking people and have got tights and sex stories to share, and I sort of do it a lot, but it's like we've said before, it's different if you're not meeting guys every so often to just do it and have fun. If it's with a sort of regular girlfriend who you've had to come out to, it's got its own journey and it's got its own things, and it was
I was trying to honor it by having you discuss it, but you're right. It is different than sleeping with random guys. I don't have anybody. I'm so alone. But no.
I love how we interpret each other's points we're making.
But no, I do
feel like you're honouring it. I'm just being insecure about how boring or interesting it is for people listening.
I think it's fascinating, and I think you should. I don't think you should be. You shouldn't be have any trepidation. It's interesting.
I was literally her sissy maid for the evening. And what was nice about it and what was different was usually she's misunderstood and thought, he's got the clothes on, we can fuck, or he's got some tights on, we can fuck, and that's him. It was more of the foreplay, more of the role play, more of the build-up, more of the degrading. It was ages before we bothered doing any actual fucking, which is what I've been desperate to do, because I feel like I have to do something when we're fucking. I can't just be there and experience this sort of... It feels like a tsunami or a tidal wave in my body for a long time, from toe to head, and my balls go huge. My cock is like a rock, and then she's
cock is like a rock.
Cock's like a rock.
Cock like a rock.
Poking through a pair of tights in front of your girlfriend, and she's laughing at that because it's such a. She knows it's part of what I like. She's not actually putting me down. She's now learned that that's what she really had a tricky time with. She was like, I don't know if I want to be mean to you. I don't know if I want to be nasty to you. And I'm like, but it's the best thing you could ever do for me.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
I'm sure it was hard. I'm sure it must have been quite odd for her in the back of her mind seeing me literally stood
sounded
there.
like she might have fun.
She's like going, fuck. Like when we're not role playing, when we're not being BDSM, but I've still got tights on, or I put them on, or she's got them on, or she's starting to go, oh my god, it just feels so much better than skin. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, and I'm like, you've worn these all your life, and you're a woman who wears them, so you must already like them enough. But it's like she still had another awakening about how wonderful they are, and how much she's actually like when she gets over what she used to think was, oh my god, my boyfriend wants to be a girl. She's now going, fuck, he just feels sexier, and his cock's way harder.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's
when he's wearing tights or panties.
That's the thing, is like, she's. I mean, there really is that kind of moment where you, like, if you've never felt them, you haven't really experienced them. Like, there's wearing them and feeling them on your body, and then there's wearing them with somebody else and feeling them on their body. It's different.
And wearing them and having someone else's hands feeling your legs with them on is an incredible feeling.
Yes, it is. Everybody, you go out there and get it done. If you can't get it done, then go buy a mannequin and just put pantyhose on its arms. I don't know if that came out of nowhere. I don't know.
Right back in, I think it was our second ever episode when I was away in Thailand and was trying to get my massage done whilst wearing a pair of pantyhose. We had one of our listeners get in touch, which it didn't inspire him to go out and do it, but it reminded him of an old tale. Did you hear of Ings? He goes by the name of Ings.
Yes. Do you want to? I'll let you take the lead because I'm not sure where we're going.
He simply got in touch with fuck. Thanks for that episode. It reminded me of one of the most one of his profound memories about massages, and he's got this whole story about the build-up and how he's actually gone into a massage parlor.
Oh my god! Wait,
turn him away.
Was this, and where was this? Was this posted? Where was this posted?
This was, sorry, I always mention Strictly Anonymous, but that's the forum I'm part of, and why we are
part
who
of it.
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was posted on Strictly Anonymous, and it was by
I didn't see it. I feel like a fool because I know Ings. You know, we want to have Ings on the show, and one of these days we have to figure out a way to do it on Thursday afternoon because that is the only time that Ings is free. But Ings, if you're listening, we got you. We'll make it happen.
He's a different guy to the person who says he uses a couple of minutes every year, was it? I sort of get why it's difficult, man. Because it's not only, like you're saying, the outside world doesn't really care as much. It's it's the human brain.
I know.
It's a really big mountain to climb when you've
2
developed.
minutes a year.
Yeah. I mean, it's not
That
even
is
funny.
so little.
It's just so specific.
Like if I had that little time to wear pantyhose, I think I'd be in a constant state of rage. If it was 1 minute 59 seconds, and all of a sudden it's like knock knock knock. Oh shit! I gotta I would be angry. I'd be like, can a man get 5 fucking minutes to himself? Jesus. So I actually did discover a little bit of an interesting article that I thought was a really good sign of the wheels turning as far as men and tights. And it was an article on AskMen.com called "The Benefits of Tights: Why You Should Embrace Wearing Tights for Your Health, Performance, and Style." It was written on September 9th in this month, or last month. And if everybody wants to check it out, but basically the author, Elizabeth Pascalatim, she makes an argument as to why tights need to be brought into the wardrobe for men. She cites our friend Harry Styles, as well as Idris Elba, Zac Efron, Lil Nas X, and Billy Porter. That's who is listed in the article, and she goes into which would be best for you, how to choose whether you're choosing tights, leggings, compressions, or pantyhose. Like, she goes into the whole kit and caboodle, and it was a really nice thing to see because this is a site that is traditionally, it's that kind of like corporate-y, masculine kind of vibe thing going on, and they put that in as one of their articles.
Remind us where we can find this. That sounds incredible.
If you look in the show notes below, when you in either the wherever you're listening to it, it will be listed in the show notes. I'll put the link where you can go to it and click on it and read away, and definitely comment and leave likes and all that good stuff, and share it, and let Ask Men know that they are onto something here, because they are indeed onto something.
That sounds really cool. I'm still a little bit intimidated by public environments. Now, it's not because I'm scared. It's because I'm scared that I'm going to lose. I want to enjoy sort of coming out constantly and it being a secret and it being like there's something. Do you know what I mean? Am I being relatable?
Yeah, well, you can come out at whatever speed you want to. I mean, it's
but what I mean is there's also something very sexy about the pressure of it being a secret. No, imagine walking around like we are dressed right now and everyone being just completely cool with it. I think that would be awesome, but I wouldn't be as turned on. It would just be nice and fun.
You think so? You wouldn't be as turned on? Or do you think that you would be like, or do you think that you would get like the adjustment and then the old fetish revs up again? Because is it entirely because it's something that you're forbidden to do? Or is it like, because you know what else is forbidden? Necrophilia. Now, if that was the case, that would mean that would be like a huge turn on for you, because that's probably the most forbidden thing that you could possibly do, right? It's pretty bad. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't think that it's all about like the secret of it. I think maybe some of it, but do you think that's going to strip the thrill of it entirely?
No,
I mean, that would just.
I think what we're unpacking here is the fact of how individual it is. I'm starting to learn that might just be something that it is for me. I think you're right. I think that I just get a thrill out of the trying to keep it a secret and then being exposed. But you know what? I've not dared, like some of our listeners and like yourself, to try. So how do I know? Hey, I'm sat here now wearing these and I'm absolutely loving it. And I loved it. You know,
I know.
You've noticed.
Well, because you're kind of stroking as you're talking. You're like, and I know exactly what the stroking is like, because let's face it, I spend pretty much all day wearing pantyhose, and it's kind of like hard not to. But I wanted to keep things a little bit rated G this episode, not really, but I kind of had a bit of a run-in with a member of the community who I thought would be a good person to have on the show, but the reaction was not so good. the reaction was a little judgy, I think, if I were to say so. And it was kind of disappointing. Actually, it was really disappointing. And it has to do with the contingent of the wearer community who says that they wear exclusively for comfort, and that it is not a fetish, and they're so anti-discussion of fetish. Like, and on the Facebook, I joined a group that was these guys who are claiming to be non-fetish, and I didn't want to say anything to the guy who runs the group at the time, but I was like, well, I have had, I've sexted like at least like half of the people here. So, I'm just saying, like, okay, I get that you want to have a place where you only want to talk about it for fashion or whatever. But when I wrote them to say that I was interested in having them on the show, they responded by reiterating the rules about how I was not to discuss anything fetishistic or anything like that. And I didn't ever once bring up anything fetishized. And it reminded me of a lot of times in the past where I would try to collaborate with people who were just doing fashion blogs, and they would just say, not interested in the sex part. And it was a bummer. I mean, it really is, because, like, again, it's sort of like a layer cake. It's sort of like taking the societal shame and kind of making it on a macro or a micro level, right? Where it's instead of the outside world judging, okay, well, now the outside world's accepting, so there needs to be some sort of
internal judgment,
gatekeeping.
Well, I hear exactly what you're saying, and it's very curious that having not been privy to all the exchanges and conversations that took place, it sounds like a very oversensitive reaction for the way you describe it. It's a little bit unfortunate, because it's a wonderful conversation to be had with someone who genuinely doesn't find it a turn on and really wants to wear.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's not. Hopefully, that could be one round, but. The internal judgment.
Well, I'm discussing it now because I know they listen, so they're going to eventually maybe get to this episode, and maybe they hear this and maybe understand that this is not just a dirty pornographic show.
Yeah. But gosh, we imagine if that's how we're coming across. Christ, all those videos for those that can't see them on the patrons, they get videos of us, and there is, like as you mentioned earlier, Mr. King, a prancy nature to how we perform during those, but it's all tongue-in-cheek, right?
It's tongue-in-cheek. If it's sexy, it's because it's sexy, not because it's pornographic.
Because we're celebrating something really fun and silly. I was wearing red bloody tights in one, wasn't I? Talking about, do my legs look nice? Trying to be a straight episode or something.
But it was just, it reminded me of like some of the like with the way community reacts to each other. I really do feel like everybody should be accepting of every type of wearer, and not say one side is, like the kind that I want to disassociate from, because I do wear for comfort and I am a fetishist, and I know how to delineate between the two. Like, I'm not going to,
That's a really good point. You know what I was thinking when I'm out walking, I think about this a lot and all of this. It's been gone over 100 times how much I've loved A, meeting you, B, starting a podcast with you, and finding this community over the past 12 months. But
I know you're in love with me. It's
there
okay.
is still, when I see on some of the Discord pages, or even on some of the Strict Anonymous, the sort of, I still feel like, and I said this on an episode of Strict Anonymous recently, I went on as a guest as a sissy crossdresser, and I was...
Which, unfortunately, unless you are a Patreon of that, you can't actually hear it. It is a Patreon-only episode for Kathy, so you have to do the crossdresser tier.
Good point.
So that's, if you guys want to hear McSheer's episode, do that.
And I'm sure that she'll release it. But the point, one of the things I was making, I was like, it still feels like within our community, for some reason, because your behavior as such becomes so theatrically feminized, that you feel almost, I can't believe, do you remember we joke about it all the time, how you're the gay guy and yet you're way less femmy than me. And I've jumped right into an old stereotype there. I don't mean that at all, like the gay guys aren't masculine. And
on behalf of all gay people everywhere, it is okay.
But I'm trying to make the point that I'm just trying to add to what you just said about our own community. There's still like a substructure within it. There's still like a ladder, and maybe we all feel like we're at the bottom. Maybe it's not just because but there's something about being a wearer and like fucking women, like being dressed as a woman whilst fucking women. What do you know what I mean? There's something really like embarrassing about admitting that, even to you. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I also do not believe, I just don't believe that there's not ever been a sexual contingent of wearing them, how can it not be? I mean, they feel nice. Like, it's just, they feel nice. And it's okay if they turn you on a little. And yeah, maybe they don't like give you a full on, like raging boner and you want to like go out and like, do 50, men in an evening like somebody did. I don't know who, not me. I've never done that. But, maybe like 6. But like, not everybody has to be like a full blown, like, howling at the moon horn dog. But I think that there is a level of like the sensation that it's like, it's not a shameful thing to be turned on by it, but it also doesn't brand you a pervert, because the notion of a pervert to me is such a antiquated thing. Like, what is a pervert? Well, that's basically what? Somebody doing something that you find to be disgusting, right? Isn't that sort of what it is? Because it's like, pervert is in the eye of the beholder, I think. I mean, we can all agree that there are certain things that are like, there's fetishes and then there's disorders, but what a pervert? I mean, that's like saying someone's a square. It's just dated. I would like to remind everybody to please, if you like what you're hearing, and if you want to see some stuff, if you want to see some more like, shots of us in tights or pantyhose or Feitstrampfenhosen, you can join our Patreon. There's different tiers that you can get. Starting out at $5, you just get the extended episodes, but then you all the way up to
Tragedy of
McSheer. You can actually co-host an entire episode with McSheer and I.
Yeah, next week's episode we have Jamie, all the way from Australia.
He's a pantyhose wearer from down under. He's awesome, you guys. It's gonna be good.
Some wonderful anecdotes. Don't miss out. We had a great time meeting him. I've really enjoyed being a Hooters waitress, and I really hope that there's someone connected to Hooters that listens to this and helps us next time.
And to everybody who reached out to me, either through FetLife or through Patreon or through Discord, thank you. That means a lot that you guys actually care about me as a human, because sometimes I don't feel like one. Sometimes I feel like a creature from outer space. But I appreciated it. So
it's nice that our Hooters episode has gone ahead in usual fashion, a bit more spontaneously and rough around the edges than I'd hoped.
Make no mistake, listeners, we were wearing these outfits.